probably know that on this channel, I'm a Luka fan. I mean, look at the name of the channel, it's obvious. But as a fan of him and thus the Mavericks, I was very skeptical coming into the season, especially after how the last one ended. But when I see them play this season and how competent Mavericks look standing as a 3 seed in the West, here are 3 reasons on why this might be the year of Luka Doncic. You know guys, before I start, I have a confession to make. Before the season started, I made a prediction video, like a tier list, and I had Mavs missing the playoffs entirely. Yeah, I know. However, deep inside, I was hoping, I was praying that the Mavs will turn it around. And after seeing first 2 preseason games against Minnesota Timberwolves, I thought, oh shit, this doesn't look good. Funny thing is, after somewhat last season, Mavericks didn't change their mentality that much. The defense looks absolutely booty cheeks, and I wasn't confident after they put all of defensive responsibilities on the shoulders of Derek Lively II. And their goal is still to purely outscore teams just depending on Kyrie and Luka talent. And this season, it kind of works. But how long will this last? They obviously had a weaker schedule to begin the season, and it got a little bit stronger. But so far from the games they played, we will find out today against Minnesota if they are for real or not. On another note, is Luka becoming kinda underrated? He's just posting ridiculous numbers and people just treat it like a norm. Luka is slowly on the way of becoming the next LeBron, where LeBron was posting incredible numbers and people will be like, yeah, that's, you know, just a regular night for LeBron. Where we shouldn't treat it like that, because what he's doing is something out of this world. In his last 5 games, Mavs went 4-1. Luka was averaging 35.2 points per game, 12.4 assists, and 9 rebounds. In World War, we just look at it and saying, yeah, it's normal. So it's high. But in order to make a bold claim like I am making today, we need to analyze not only how Luka playing this season, but also his competition. Currently, Luka is number 5 in the MVP tracker on basketballreference.com, but I believe he has a bigger chance to win, regardless of what tracker implies. Joel Embiid is currently leading the race, a guy who already won MVP last year, a guy who has a teammate in Tyrese Maxey who's having his best career year, and the 76ers are just 1 game better than the Mavs. Then we have Nikola Jokic, who is getting a resurgence in the media after winning it all last year. However, to me it seems like Twitter is just waiting for his downfall. Last couple of games were not so good for Nikola Jokic, where he's averaging like 18 points and not really good shooting percentage. And NBA Twitter just eating that shit up. I mean, I've never seen an NBA Twitter be so hungry just for a player to do so badly. However, with all that being said, Jokic will still be there. He is probably the best player in the world today, leading the best team in the NBA today. And with Jamal missing quite some time, and Denver overall maybe not taking regular season as seriously as last year, I believe that Luka has a chance of being higher seed than Denver, and that's all he needs to do to surpass Nikola Jokic in MVP chances. Number 3 is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Shai is one of my favorite players to watch in NBA today, because he is Luka-like in terms of he's not going fast, but he's so precise with his movements that nobody can guard him. And OKC is very fun to watch, and I'm glad that I picked them to make the playoffs because I've seen the potential in this team. However, I don't see them going very far because the team is so young. The second reason is because it feels like OKC's management don't want to risk their draft capital. The OKC right now is the thinnest team in terms of front court presence out of all the contenders. And yes, they have Chat, but they just put so much on him that he's not going to last the whole season. And if there are no moves made by OKC to improve their front line, I believe that they have a very limited ceiling, at least for this season. Number 4 is Giannis, but I truly believe that he will not win MVP unless Bucks win like 60 games. Yes, they are 2nd seed, and Giannis just dropped 64 on the Pacers. But the Bucks have been under microscope since the Damian Lillard trade. A lot of media's eyes, they've been kind of underwhelming. And maybe they're right, the lack of defense is kind of concerning, and you know, the backcourt of Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley does not instill confidence in you that they can defend. We've all seen that Malik Beasley clip. Unless Bucks win more than 60 games, I don't see media giving MVP. That brings me to Luka Doncic. Out of all 5 candidates that we discussed so far, he has by far the weakest roster. His other star is injured and has been quite inconsistent this year, and he carries them to wins. And unlike last year, where Mavs lost a lot of clutch time games, this year they win in clutch, and mostly because of Luka Doncic brilliance. So where does that leave us? There's I mean, there are still plenty of seasons still to be played. Of course, there are going to be a lot of changes. When we can, honestly, we can talk about some different topic in a week or two. There are just too many variables to consider. But in my opinion, this year is turning out the best opportunity Luka had to win MVP in his young NBA career. From the team's success to his incredible numbers to his competition, I think this might be the year of Luka Doncic. I hope you all enjoyed.